Hello friends, welcome back to Technique. In this video, we'll be doing the detailed camera review of the newly launched Poco F7. So Poco F7 comes with a dual camera setup. It has a primary and an ultra wide angle camera and also a pretty good selfie camera. So let's go straight into the camera to see how it performs in this price segment. Now the Poco F7 is priced $29,999 including card offers, and let's see how it performs in this segment in terms of the camera experience. So let's first have a look at the hardware offered on the Poco F7. Now the primary camera is a 50 megapixel Sony sensor. It's a Sony IMX882 sensor with f1.5 aperture and optically mid stabilization is included. Now secondary camera is an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. Now the primary camera can do 4K 60 fps. Now in terms of selfie camera, you get a 20 megapixel shooter with f2.2 aperture. So that's the camera hardware of the Poco F7. So let's go straight into the camera samples to see how it performs. So let's first have a look at the daylight captures taken with the Poco F7. So in terms of daylight conditions, you can see here there is good amount of details. The colors are mostly done well, and we could shoot most of the images only in cloudy condition because it's monsoon in our area. So we couldn't do in extreme bright sunlight, but otherwise the camera experience looks quite good. The HDR performance could have been a tad better, but nevertheless overall the color experience looks good. The details and sharpness levels are also good, and overall the noise levels are kept to minimum. But again, the dynamic range could have been slightly better overall. But I would say the details and color quality looks definitely good and definitely improved over the Poco F6 if you ask me. So that's the camera experience of the 50 megapixel shooter, and overall I would say it's definitely improved over the Poco F6, but it may not be a class leading or the segment leading camera, but it won't disappoint users with the 50 megapixel shooter. Now moving on to the ultra wide angle camera, the 8 megapixel shooter is a decent one. Nothing much to boast about. It's a decent shooter for ultra wide shoots. The details are quite okay. The sharpness levels are acceptable, but it won't be the best out there in terms of ultra wide experience, but it's kind of an average experience overall. Now moving on to the close-up shots. Here you can see that the primary shooter does a quite good job in terms of details. The sharpness levels are once again good, and the color quality is also pretty much evident here. It's more or less natural looking, and the primary 50 megapixel shooter does a good job with close-up images. There is no dedicated macro mode available on this camera. Now moving on to the portraits. Now the primary 50 megapixel shooter can take portraits in 1x and 2x option, and you can see that the portraits are quite okay. The skin tones are quite acceptable, although it may not be the best out there. Again, I wouldn't say there isn't any major issues as such. Again, colors are quite natural looking. The bokeh drop off is also quite okay. The edge detection is fair and good. Again, portraits may not be the best out there in this category, but again it is definitely improved over the Poco F6. So that's the portrait quality. Now let's move on to the low light experience. Now in indoor and artificial light, you could see here there is good amount of details. The color quality looks good, and the dynamic range also looks quite okay. The sharpness levels are good, and since there is OIS included, the details are good and the noise levels are kept to minimum. But when it comes to extreme low light, you can see that the dynamic range isn't that impressive, but it is quite acceptable, I would say, in terms of the quality. Now moving on to the selfie camera. The 20 megapixel camera is vastly improved over the Poco F6, and we feel this is definitely good. You can see the skin tones are quite okay. Again, not very accurate, but nevertheless I would say this is acceptable. Comparing it to the Poco F6, this is definitely vast improvement in terms of selfie camera. So overall I would say colors are good, the details are good, the sharpness levels are also good. Even the low light experience with the selfie camera turned out to be quite acceptable. The portrait selfies also turned out to be pretty good with good edge detection involved. So that's the selfie camera. Now moving on to the video recording, it can record videos in 4K 60 fps. It's quite good, I would say, in terms of stabilization offered. The colors are once again good, and there is no oversaturation issues. The dynamic range looks okayish, I would say, and overall quality definitely looks good in terms of 4K. Now the 1080p 60 fps footage also is very similar. The stabilization is done well, and the colors and dynamic range looks quite okay. Again, it may not be the best out there, but still it won't disappoint. Now the 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera was kind of very much average. The colors were not that accurate, very much different from what you could see on the primary shooter. It's slightly saturated. So this is the 1080p 60 fps footage taken using the selfie camera on the Poco F7. So it doesn't support 4K resolution, only 1080p 60 fps. So you can judge yourself how good the clarity of the videos and also the audio output. So that was the detailed camera review of the Poco F7. So all in all, you could say that the Poco F7 is vastly improved over the Poco F6 in terms of camera experience. But there are certain areas where it still needs improvement. The dynamic range performance could have been tad better, and overall processing was quite okay and definitely better than the Poco F6. But if you look at this price segment around the 30 to 35,000 rupees, Poco F7 may not be the best camera out there, but it is definitely an improvement over the Poco F6. So if you are looking for a decent camera which won't disappoint users, Poco F7 will satisfy users. But if you want the best camera out there in this segment, probably Poco F7 is not the best one out there. So that was my experience with the Poco F7 in terms of camera experience. So what do you guys think about the camera on the Poco F7? Do let us know your thoughts in the comment section. This is Normal signing off. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.